Where's where, where's my at? Yeah, I want the ivory, the ivory one. Where my jewelry is. I don't know if this works. Yeah, my hair's too big. Yeah, me too. And what song? Shut up. That's one of my favorites. Okay. Okay. That's what my
Test, test. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to the MacBook Pro. All right, check, check. Y'all should be able to hear me now. You should be able to hear me now. Let me see. Check, check. So let me start over. All right. So now that you can hear me,
Can I take this out?
you can take this out.
All right.
I'm gonna take it out because I'm not sure what's going on with them. Not sure why they didn't connect. Anyway, all right. So as I was saying, we went to first of all, this is my wife Tier, as you can see. As you can see. So welcome to the show, Thursday Night Potluck, where we talking about whatever, man. Just feel free to pull up. If you got a topic you want to talk about, I'm going to post a link in the comments. If you follow me on the Facebook fan page for It's a Black and White Thing, Brains and Bars, I'm going to post a link there. I'm also going to post a link in the comments of my personal Facebook. So if you're friends with me there, you feel free to pull up, come holler at us. You can talk about whatever. We got a little topic we're going to spend a couple of minutes talking about. But then after that, it's a free-for-all, man. So as I was saying, we went to Minneapolis, Minnesota last couple of weeks ago to go check out Shabuzi. Shabuzi is a Black country music artist dropped the album Where I've Been Is Not Where I'm Going. If you heard a bar song, pour me up a double shot of whiskey, that song, right, on social media, that's him. And so we're gonna get to that in just a second, Mo. So went to go see him in concert, and while we were there, the Country Music Artist Awards came out, and Beyonce was not nominated. That caused a little bit of a controversy and a stir, because they're like, why didn't she get one? And y'all just haters, blah 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 blah, right? All right, so my wife goes, Cowboy Carter is a great album. It should absolutely be nominated for a CMA award. And I'm like, pump your brakes. It's a good album, not a great album. And I said, I don't think it's a country album. I said, I think it has country songs, but overall it is not a country album. And so she was like, what? So we went back and forth. And so on our way home, she goes, we're going to listen to this album and you're going to listen to it till you agree it's great. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So we had 2 hours, I think, of our 6-hour drive spent listening to podcasts about the album, listening to the album, and conversation about the album. So I figured we would recreate some of that dialogue here for the show. So let's begin. First off, welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you showing and pulling up.
I am here.
Making the journey all the way from the family room, into the dining room. Thank you.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Made it.
All right. So, Cowboy Carter.
Yes.
Is Cowboy Carter a country album, in your estimation, after we went through and listened to it for the hour and a half?
I don't feel like it's a country album, but I feel like it has country influences.
Mm-hmm.
So, meaning there's, the banjo or the nails and the beats and, some twang in it every now and then. But it's mostly still like it has a Beyonce feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was labeled country.
Mm-hmm.
The album it's been, I'm pretty sure, on the country charts.
Mm-hmm. It was.
But I would not say it's a country album. I still think it's great. It's still a great album, no matter how you feel about it.
Okay, that's fine. So after our listening to it, my conclusion did not change. Good album, not great album. I agree. I do not think it's a country album. It did not change my mind on it. I think I actually convinced her that it wasn't a country album. I think we got to track 12 and I stopped and I said, how many country songs have we heard here? And we counted and we went 4.
4.
4. I was like, so we are, I forget how many tracks on here. Was it 20?
24?
Too many. That's a pet peeve of mine too.
There's also some interludes that are not full songs, so that
true.
makes it longer.
This is true. So I'm looking it up right now. 27 records. But like I said, we had gotten to track 12 and I said, how many country songs? And she said 4. Hopefully that doesn't knock me out. I don't know what I just did there. Anyway, so do you think it should have been nominated for a CMA award?
I feel like it should have been nominated. Because there were country songs on there. They were on the charts. They were great songs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a newcomer award or a newcomer nomination or something, even though Dolly Parton said she hasn't been in the game long enough for country. There is a way that you could have acknowledged her. I mean, it's just been shade since she dropped the album. Let's be honest.
So,
and she was on the CMAs. She did Daddy's Lessons on the CMAs. Don't act like she hasn't been there before.
I mean, I think that appearance caused a little bit of controversy in and of itself, but that's another question for another statement for another day. So I don't know if there was anything on that album, maybe single of the year, maybe for Texas Hold'em.
I do not like that song. It's just overplayed. It's too much. It's very stereotypical.
I mean, but that is so. But that's kind of like the whole point, right? The whole point of the genre is they're picking the best of their best. So they're not, I'll put it to you this way, they're not going to select a techno country song for a song of the year or single of the year. They're going to pick something that
there were
represents
other
their
songs
genre.
that were great,
But they were not singles.
So what were their singers? Just that and 16 Carriages?
There might have been one more. Hold on, let me see. There might have been one more. I know those were the main. I think those might have been the only two.
That Miley Cyrus song, very country, fire.
But not a single.
I know. The Levi Jeans with Post Malone. I'm so tired of people talking about Post Malone. He's on it. It sounds great. Get over it. Like
Two Most Wanted.
Two Most Wanted is the Miley Cyrus song. Yes.
So yeah. So I mean,
that was a single.
That was a single.
That song is amazing.
I really like Two Most Wanted. I do. I think it's one of the better songs on the album.
Absolutely.
So we got to a certain point, and to me, I don't know if Beyonce has an Act 4, but if she's going to be bending genres, it was Bodyguard. We got to Bodyguard.
Yeah.
And I said, at this point, I don't want to hear Beyonce do country. I want to hear Beyonce do a rock album.
She does rock really good.
I mean, when you think about what's the record from Lemonade where she
Don't Hurt Yourself or something like that.
Don't Hurt Yourself, fire record. Bodyguard, fire song. So I'm at this point, I'm like, I don't want to hear no country. I just want to hear you do like a pop rock type record. Like I would be down for that, And so, okay. So we've established it's not a country album, has country influences.
Very much country influences.
Are the best songs on there country songs?
No. Other than Two Most Wanted and Levi Jeans, I feel like most of the greater songs are towards the end of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a mix of country influence, but it definitely just has a Beyonce feel to it. It's not country. I wouldn't say it was country.
So let's talk about this. So let's talk about,
and they're back to back, like just hitting back to back amazing albums at the end.
So when you get to after Levi's Jeans, you got Flamenco, then you have the Linda Martell interlude, but then the last 5 songs.
Yeah, once you get to Yaya.
Yeah, Yaya, Oh Louisiana is like an interlude, but Yaya, There's an Eagle, Riverdance, Two Hands to Heaven, Tyrant is like a run, a hit after hit after hit after hit, fire, complete fire, and not again.
It's a great album.
It's a great segment.
Okay.
It's a great segment. It's not a great album. It's a great segment.
The beginning of the album is still good, but I feel like it focuses more on her vocals, which are great. So that's what makes the beginning part of the album still good to me because of the vocal complexity. It's amazing. And some of the beats too. I mean, especially Desert Eagle.
I mean, that's fine, but it's not country all the way.
No, I know we're done with that part. So, I was just saying it's great.
So why do you think she tried to say it was a country album? I'm looking at it right now on iTunes it's listed as country.
Yeah.
So why do you think that she kind of went back and forth between was country and then she went from, well, it's not country, it's a Beyonce album?
So in the car, we listened to an hour podcast by Bomani Jones.
Shout out The Right Time with Bomani Jones.
And he had a guest on there and they were talking about, the country genre. I did not agree with a lot of what they were saying. I don't know if it was because a lot of the things that they were saying were from a male perspective and I viewed some things differently from a female perspective. But I did agree with the fact that they said, okay, we're going to make a country album. We have the visuals, the photo shoots is country, the hats, the clothes. And then it's like we're in the studio and we're making something country-ish, but it just never pulled together. It was very disjointed,
At 5, I mean, I
It
think
was
she
very
said.
disjointed.
I think they said she worked on this album for 5 years, and then their remark was, "You can tell because there's a little bit of everything on there."
There's a little bit of everything, but it's not one focused kind of genre. And she I think she knows that, which is why she has interludes that talks about genre and how genres, it's a funny little thing, and how you can switch in and out and you can mix things and you can make it a more modern country album, which I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But not traditional country, no.
Okay. I mean, I think that's, like I said, I think that's fair. So
the one thing that they said that I did not agree with was most country albums has like a vulnerability to it,
mm-hmm.
and she was missing that vulnerability, which I did not agree. I felt like on, Tyrant, Daughters, there's songs where she is like, even Jolene explaining like, okay, this is how I feel about this situation. She's trying to be strong. And then another song will come behind it and she's totally not weak. She's succumbed to her emotions and she's expressing those vulnerabilities. And I can see that from a woman's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that there is a certain, after she went through what she went through with Jay-Z, right? She makes Lemonade, where she talks about all the vulnerabilities of her husband cheating and what that meant to her and how that affected her.
And it was more in your face.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I feel like from that point, shout out to your mom. She said, I only know that bougie guy. Shabuzi. You were close.
Shabuzi.
I feel like from that point on, like, she's only been speaking from places of strength as it relates to her marriage, right? I mean, you had the song on the Carters about, Beyonce talking about, what was the name of that song? Happy in Love,
mm-hmm.
which I always found was a cringeworthy song. That's another story for another day.
Right.
When she talks about her relationship, she does it primarily from a perspective of strength.
Right.
She doesn't do it from a place of vulnerability, right? So you think about 16 Carriages, where she talks about, I've been
to take care of her family
since she was 16,
grinding. Yeah.
You think about Daughters. Is that the song about Protector? Where in the lyrics says, "I'm the protector. I'll be your protector."
No, that's I think that's Protector. That's the lullaby with her when she's like being vulnerable with her daughter.
Yes.
And then the Daughters one was when she like was so upset about the affair that she fantasized about killing the girl in the bathroom. That's a vulnerability. And then you have Tyrant.
Violence, but yes, vulnerable.
Violent but vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Tyrant, she's literally saying like, how, you stole him from me. How did you do it? Like, tell me how you did this.
Right.
And she's just trying to understand in her brain, like, I don't understand. And then you have the lady responding like, this is what I did. I'm a tyrant every time. And so, there's absolutely vulnerability there. Probably not like I'm in the bottom of the whiskey, the bottom of the,
right.
the glass, maybe not like that.
It
was in her own way.
Right. She went a little bit past, I'm trying to think who was the lady who he'll think the next time before he cheats, right?
Yeah.
Where she, drug her nail into the side of his 4-wheel drive or whatever. Carrie Underwood, thank you. But she went a little bit beyond that.
Yeah.
But I do think there's vulnerability. So let's talk about Beyonce at a certain point in her career, right? She kind of was making R&B popish style records. When you go to her self-titled album, which is Beyonce, which has like Ghost, Haunted, Rocket.
And I love that she brought Ghost back in one of the beats, which was amazing.
Right. So if you start from that progression, you have Beyonce, you have Lemonade, you have Renaissance.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is it 4?
I think in Cowboy Carter.
Did
I miss one since then?
What's on 1+1? Is that the?
That's before
self-titled?
that. That's 4.
4. Okay.
So I'm saying, I feel like stylistically, she made a shift in how she talked about how she produced and put out music, right? Starting from the self-titled album.
Yeah.
So if you start from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about, like I said, Beyonce, think about Lemonade. If we think about Renaissance and Cowboy Carter, rank those 4 albums for me.
4?
Yeah, those 4, right? Beyonce, Lemonade, Cowboy Carter, and Renaissance. Because those are the 4 albums kind of where she went from making kind of like really, I mean, dope records, right? But her style changed. I'll say she took on more of a trap style element to her music.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say obviously Lemonade is that album was literally her whole heart just on a record. Like I mean, it literally was a piece of her that we had never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And with the visual, movie with that just to kind of took it over the top. It was very, very Michael Jackson-ish,
Okay.
I guess, but then I would say I feel like the self-titled album and Renaissance are kind of neck and neck. And I know people really didn't love Renaissance.
No, you didn't love Renaissance.
I did. It took me some time after listening over and over because it was so different. I'm not a house music person. So it was just so different. But then the vocal complexities on some of those songs, especially Plastic Off the Sofa, I was like, okay. Okay. I can listen and then it got used to it. I would say they're tied, but yeah, Cowboy Carter's probably at the bottom. It's still a great album though. It's just
okay. So that's 4 for you. What's 3? So it's got to be Renaissance then, right? Or no, I'm sorry. Beyond her self-titled album is number 3.
I said they're tied. I don't know. What songs are on? I can't even remember.
You're wilding. You're crazy wild. Like,
what songs are on?
Hold on, we about to go. I'm about to pull it up for you because when I start running through these records, you're gonna be like, "Oh, my bad."
Well, it might be second then.
My bad. I'm trying to see.
Is that the one with Flawless and Partition and then yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, so we're gonna go Lemonade, self-titled, Renaissance, Cowboy.
So you got Cowboy at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I was right.
But
so,
it's still a great.
No, see, hold up.
It's still a great album.
It's a good album. It's a good, close to great album. It's too long. That's number 1. Mm-hmm. You know how I feel about albums being super long.
Yes.
But like when I said this and I said, hey, the album's too long. Like I said, the albums, it's of those 4. That's the worst one, right? Not that it's bad, but it's at the bottom. You were like, no, it's not. And you just put it forth. So for the record,
that's not what I said.
To name some, your mom said name some older songs. So Drunken Love.
Oh, my mom used to love that song. And Ethan was 3 and he would like do the beginning of it. You remember?
Okay.
Yeah.
But just for the record, Pretty Hurts, Haunted, Drunken Love, Blow, No Angel, Partition, Jealous, Rocket. Let me tell you, the first time I heard Rocket, I was like, I don't know if I should be listening to this. Like, this might be a little bit too much for my virgin ears. But Flawless, Superpower, Heaven. This was a double album, so this had a lot of records on it too. 70. Oh, so this is the extended album because the extended album has a Flawless remix, Drunken Love remix, Blow remix, Standing on the Sun, 7-11. So it was originally 14 tracks. So to rank them for myself,
okay,
I got at 4, I got Cowboy Carter, right? Something's got to be last.
Yeah.
It's a really good album, close to great, but it's number 4.
It's a great album.
Yeah. God bless you. It's number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with Renaissance. Renaissance to me is a great album. The next 3 are great to me. Renaissance is a great album. Something's got to be at number 3. The first record when it comes in, ain't stopping me. Like the beat, like that mug hits. the transitions between songs when you go
The
from
way they use that song on Blink Twice, the movie, was
fire.
crazy. But
Someday we're going to talk about
I
Diddy
digress.
and Blink Twice and the connections and the parallels. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I got Diddy fatigue right now, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's another story for another day as well. I will say this about Diddy. All you people on here who are supposedly connecting the dots, and well, if you go look at this video and this video ties to this and this time, man, go work for the FBI. Go put your application in, Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys. Go put your application in for the FBI, the CIA, and get off TikTok and off social media, please. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Anyway. So number two is, this is tough. I'm gonna go Lemonade at 2.
So you think Lemonade is 2 and the self-titled is 1. So that's where we differ.
Yes.
My mom asked,
what
is the most popular song on Renaissance?
It's Cuff It.
Cuff It, that's right. That you see.
It's Cuff It. Yeah, that's the most popular song. Well, in part because of social media, right? The dance
social media
blew it up, and then Cuff It is the one that has a mute challenge to it, right? Or is that the next record? It's not Cuff It, it's the song.
Look around, everybody on mute.
No, that's
energy.
No, Cuff It leads into energy.
It leads into energy. Okay.
And so again, the thing I say about that album, that it goes through. So when you start that album, it's I'm That Girl, Cozy, Alien Superstar. They bleed into each other, right? It's almost like it's a DJ set. And to me, that's part of what makes Renaissance such a great album is you got that. It just blends almost like a DJ tape, like it's a DJ in the booth blending the records. It's amazing. I love that.
Amazing.
I love that.
But even though Cuff It was the most popular song, I feel like for me, the best song was Plastic Off the Sofa. Just because of the vocal complexity and then how it bleeds into Virgo's Groove.
Man, listen. Plastic Off the Sofa and Virgo's Groove back to back is a banger, boy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Banger. It's a banger. Those are 2 fire records. Like if I play one, I got to play the other.
I know you can sing if you can hit those notes and those runs on Plastic Off the Sofa. You that girl.
For sure.
Or guy.
I'm That Girl. Well, yeah. I'm That Girl is one of my favorite records off of there too. But yeah, that's my 4 in order. I'm trying to think. Anything else you want to talk about before we switch topics here? I'm gonna post a link here on Facebook so if people want to pull up. Y'all can pull up, man. We can talk. Y'all want to talk about Beyonce? We can talk about Beyonce. If y'all want to talk about, you see Charlie Brown got a little chocolate drop.
Booth thing. Okay.
A little chocolate drop. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm multitasking. Bear with me here.
Yeah, focus.
My bad. This happens to me all the time. I'll be like, you see that? Let me see. All right. So I posted the link. Hopefully you're able to click it if you want to join us. I just posted it in my Facebook Live here on my personal page. I'm not sure I can get to my Facebook fan page from here. Let me see. Do you follow me on?
Of course I follow you.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Of course.
I'm just making sure. We're going to have a talk. If you wasn't following me.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you guys can see that. And you can join that link to the homies in my group chat. I did post a link in the group chat. So if y'all want to pull up, y'all can. I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to click on it and see.
You're gonna click on it. I can. Charlie is Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown. I don't know if you can show him the picture of Charlie Brown and his boo thing.
Oh, I don't know. Can I? Let me see.
Here we go.
I don't know if it'll let me do it.
Yeah.
Look, can y'all see that? Charlie Brown. I don't know if it's gonna focus because our heads are in the way. But he got a little chocolate drop sitting next to him.
With her curly hair.
And they don't put a little phone on him. When Charlie Brown get a phone.
Get a cell phone.
All right, Charlie. I see you, player. Anyway, anything else you want to say about Beyonce? Anything? I know, granted, we condensed a 2-hour conversation to like 30 minutes.
Yeah, because there's so many things that we discussed. We went song by song.
We did.
And discussed, the musicality behind it, the country flares behind it, if we considered it country or not, if it was a great song or not, the vulnerabilities in it, if we felt that it had something to say or if it was just trash. I don't feel like there was just like, oh, that song. There was a couple of songs that we decided were skippable, but not a lot. Out of 27, tracks, we did not say that a ton of them were skippable, which is how I would say this is a good album, because I can listen to the songs back to back without wanting to skip through them.
There's some truth to that. Let me go back. I'm not gonna go record by record. I feel like American Requiem I could do without.
But the vocals though.
Blackbird I could do without.
Blackbird, yes, absolutely, because that's just a redo of the Beatles, and it's not,
Yo, Los, one day I'm gonna do an Adele episode. I'm gonna have you pull up because I know you an Adele super fan. So I'm gonna have you pull up.
Ooh, you a stan, huh?
He loves Adele. Yeah, I mean, I could do without all the interludes. I get they serve a purpose. The record where she was doing the little opera thing, it was dope, but I didn't need it.
She likes to show her range. Girl, we know you can do opera, okay?
I think
it was not necessary for a country album.
I think she's like LeBron, where LeBron, like she kind of hear the critics saying, because people think that Beyonce can't sing. People criticize her,
weird to me,
and say she's not a good singer. So
yeah, her vocals are crazy.
Yeah.
The what do they call it when you're vocal control? Her vocal control, especially like with her runs and her she can do different genres. It's amazing. No to Taylor Swift. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Jay Money, man. Jay Money said he's a Taylor. Hey, listen, Jay, I'm gonna be at the shop tomorrow. You gonna have to like help me understand like the love affair with Taylor Swift. I have tried. I'm going to keep trying. I have tried. I have not gotten the appeal.
Did try. We were in the car on the trip and listened to
it. Wasn't a trip. Album. We was driving somewhere. We were
going somewhere. Yeah, on the trip.
I'm pretty sure we might have been going to Gigi's. It might, which feels like a trip when you drive.
Shout out to Gigi.
Shout out to Ron and Gigi. It feels like a trip when you drive to their house because they live out. They out there. Yeah. They out there.
But there was not one beat on that album that made me feel alive. I felt very sad.
Not very sad. He said, "No, bro. If you listen to Taylor Swift, it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, that's what you like. But I need you to give me at least one song that make me wanna.
That's not Bad Blood. You know, she don't make that kind of hip moving music.
I mean, any kind of I need some African drums, something in there that make me want to move my body.
She's not African.
I'm just saying.
I don't think she got.
It's very monochromatic, if that's the correct word.
Now you want to talk about it's like a music factory.
Yes.
All right, but Jewel, we're gonna check that out after the show.
Check it out, and I'll let you know if I.
So
or not.
Speaking,
because I'm gonna be able to do it.
So
if it don't do that.
Speaking of music out of a factory, I started listening to Post Malone because when we talk about Beyonce getting shaded by the Country Music Awards, right? There's going to be a very interesting discussion coming up when the CMAs happen, because one of the singles of the year is Shabuzi's Bar Song.
Love it.
But one of the other singles of the year,
and everything.
One of the other singles of the year is what's that song? I Had Some Help by Morgan Wallen. Post Malone streams are crazy. Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. So I started listening to Post Malone's country album, which also very long, too long. I think it's like 24. It's a double album, 24, 27 songs. On the first half of that album, he's got a Dolly Parton feature. He's got a Blake Shelton feature. He's got Morgan Wallen. He's got Luke Bryan. He's got Lainey Wilson. He basically went to the Country Music Factory and said, I'm going, let me get one of those. That's an expensive album, by the way. Let me get that feature, and put out a record. So I Had Some Help was on the Billboard Top 100 chart for like 5 weeks in a row. Shabuzi has been number one, I think, for either 9 of the last 10 weeks, because he got to number one. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us took over. Then he's been number one since. And so I do wonder what's going to happen, because to me, those are the front runners for single of the year. And, listen, country music has a very checkered past. To be light about it as it relates to race. To me, Shabuzi's,
which was the point of the album.
Okay.
One of the points.
It was one of the points of the album, right?
Yeah.
She talked about the rodeo record, about going to the Houston rodeo and growing up in that. That's hilarious. And growing up in Houston and being a part of the rodeo and that being part of the influence. I told her right before we started that this was her man in the woods, right? Justin Timberlake, he's from Tennessee. He made a record that reflected his upbringing. This was her man in the woods. Lo said, have we talked about Glorilla? No. I'm not sure my wife outside of 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Friday, 95 degrees can tell you anything else about Glorilla. I'm not sure.
Glow or something like that.
It's Glow.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if Glorilla walked in our house right now, she would be able to tell you, she would be saying, who is this woman and why is she in our house? So
I'm sanctified.
Sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, huh? Okay. All right, I got you. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, man, everybody on Facebook Live, YouTube, wherever you're watching this, man, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button. Get this out to as many people as possible. We're going to be here every night, like I said, or every Thursday night before the NFL games kick off from like 6:30 to 7 because everything's bigger in Texas. And we were talking about Cowboy Carter. I decided to start at 6. But normally this is only a 30-minute show. So, anything else?
Tell Carlos stop shading me.
I think he's having a back and forth with Jay Money about Taylor Swift.
No, he said I'm not sanctified because I listen to Beyonce.
I could say something there, but
there's some exceptions.
I'm gonna say that comment for off the air. We're not gonna talk about that on air. Anyway.
Okay.
I'm saying you put on some rocket. Anyway.
Jeez Louise.
Moving on. Anything else you want to say?
Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, this is not your first time. This is the first time on the potluck. I keep missing this one comment I'm trying to pull up. This is from Jay Money. No disrespect, he should have started in country. Yeah, maybe.
Shabuzi.
Maybe. Here you go. We're not talking about Diddy tonight, Jay Money.
Lord Jesus.
Use one of these sleuths I'm talking about trying to connect the dots. But anyway, this is not your first time on the show. You were here for the Bachelor finale when Rachel Lindsay.
Well, that was a long
time ago.
Her and her husband are divorced now, which makes me sad.
That is sad. So
I had hope for them.
Yeah. All right. So any parting words before you get out of here?
No, I love you.
I love you too. If I give you a kiss, we're not breaking the rules if I give you a kiss, right? Is that cool? All right. Love you.
Love you.
All right. Tiara, as you can see. All right, I'm gonna let her exit stage left.
I gotta go left. I can't.
No, you can go. Left. I mean, you can go to your right. At some point, me and the boy are going to show up, and we're going to do a show together. He has a topic that he would like to talk about, so I'm going to give him the opportunity to do that. So, real quick, shout out to your grandmother. She's watching.
Oh, hi, Grandma.
All right, so real quick, one thing I do want to get into before we get out of here is we want to talk about the family man-o-meter. So tonight we got Giants versus Cowboys going down. Thursday night football. I think this is in Dallas, in Big Dallas, Big D. I'm not pausing it. Going down in about 20-30 minutes or so, right? Family manometer. If you watched the show last week, I talked about the family manometer. The family manometer is something that a meter you use to determine whether or not you should be watching this game. There's 4 levels to the meter. The first one we have, I feel like Jay Money's just being a contrarian now, Los. I'm going to get to that in just a second. The family manometer, the first quadrant we have is be a family man. That means the game is not worth your time, not worth watching. The second quadrant is complimentary football, which means you spend the first half with family. The second half you spend watching the game to see check in to see what's going on. The third one is the walkthrough. You're watching the game, but during timeouts, during halftime, you're checking in on the family, making sure everybody's doing good. And the final one is what family? It's must-see TV. You're not paying attention to anything that's going on. You're going to your man cave. You're going to a sports bar, a homie's house to go and watch the game because you don't care what's happening. So for those who are Giants and Cowboys fans, because those are giant fan bases, no pun intended, big fan bases, teams that that have a national following, this is what family games for them, period. What family? I should have kept Turf here for this segment. Anyway, but for everybody else, for those who are not Giants and Cowboys fans, I agree with Jay Money. It's a walkthrough. It's a walkthrough game. You're going to spend that first half. Are you going to actually, no, not walkthrough, complimentary football, because I don't know what I'm going to get from Daniel Jones. I know Daniel Jones and Malik Neighbors have developed a good chemistry. They have been playing well together these last couple of games, but I don't know what I'm going to get from Daniel Jones game to game. The Cowboys are in a must-win situation. They've lost 2 in a row. 2 in a row, right? Yeah, they won the first game. They lost the last 2. Must-win situation for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. This is it's a complimentary football game. We're going to spend time with the family in the first half. Second half, we're going to see what's going on with the game, if it's worth our time. If it looks like it did last Thursday night where one team is getting blown out and they have no shot, then we're going to be a family man. If the game is getting a little bit tight in that second half, then we are going to go and spend some time watching the game, check in on the family. It becomes a walkthrough at that point. All right. So again, Cowboys fans, this is a what family game for y'all. Y'all that tuned in from the opening kickoff to the final whistle. For everybody else, the rest of America, complimentary football. Just check in, be with the family, see what's going on. So we're going to see what happens. As far as who I have winning this game, thank you. My mother loves the shirt. I can't remember the site that I got it from. But as far as the game and who I think wins, I have the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win. I think they get things righted. I think the Giants offense has not put it all together yet. Daniel Jones looked good last week. He looked competent last week. And it was against a decent defense, a defense that was banged up, but a decent defense. But I don't think that the Giants are going to be able to run the ball effectively enough. And to me, for the Cowboys, the reason they are in serious trouble, the reason that they could potentially be a fringe playoff team. I said this about the San Francisco 49ers, and I feel the same about the Cowboys, and here's why. The Cowboys struggle to run the football. You watch the Saints punish them, running the ball down their throats. You watch Derrick Henry and the Ravens, go crazy, running the football down their throats. They have to face this year the Lions, the 49ers. They got the Eagles twice, right? The Commanders can run the football. They can also protect the quarterback. Trying to see. I mean, so when you look at, that's what, 2 games against the Eagles, 1 against the Steelers, who are not a bad team at running the football, against the Lions, the Niners. That's 5 games with teams who can run the rock. And if you cannot stop the run in a league where more and more teams are turning to the run because teams are taking away the pass, I don't know how Dallas is going to make the requisite changes to be able to stop the running game. And so while I think they'll win tonight because I don't trust Daniel Jones and I don't think that the Giants are going to be able to take advantage of Dallas's inability to stop the run, I'm going with rest of the season outlook, man. I think Dallas might be able to do enough to become a wild card team, but if I could see them and the Niners not making the playoffs. Now, as far as the Niners, shout out to the home team. Even though they lost, they made me really mad last week. Hardly home, but always repping. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to the Niners. As far as the Niners, before the season, hold on, before I get to the Niners, I got this from my guy, Greg. Greg says, is Micah Parsons overrated? He's got all the talent, but you just don't see other top defensive players not able to impact the game. Some of that has to do with how they utilize him. I think there have been times, even with Dan Quinn, where they did not utilize him effectively, and his ability to impact the game was muted. So if they can find a way to utilize him effectively, I think in a run game, I think Micah's not great at the run game, and that's part of the issue of the team as a whole. But if they're not able to utilize him in a way to help be impactful in that run game, and the team can just run the ball and you don't put them in passing situations, where you have to throw the ball, I think Micah Parsons is not the same guy. I could say a little bit the same about Nick Bosa right now. So thank you. I appreciate the love. I know this is a dope hat. Shouldn't he, man, Greg, if you got a chance, man, if you're free, click the link in the comments, bro. Jump in here real quick. It might be, I might have to repost it, but jump in here if you can. He should, but you're only able to do so much. So this question says, but shouldn't he be able to dominate his matchup? He should be able to dominate his matchup, but you can only do so much, right? Like you can't just go be Superman on every play. Like it's still a team sport, right? You still need other players around you to make plays so that you can be effective. So I want to get to this. Hold on, let me hide this comment. I want to get to this comment from the homie Mo because he posted this as soon as we started the show. Real quick about the Chiefs. Should I or should I not start Kareem Hunt this Sunday in fantasy? I think you should keep him on the bench because we don't know what he's going to do. I actually liked Carson Steele. To me, the guy that should be potentially looking over his shoulders is Samaje Perine. I think Carson Steele did enough to hold down that number one spot. I think he had 70 yards, 72 yards, and was it 8-9 carries? No, it was more than that. It was more than that. It had to be like 11, 12 carries. I feel like his average is about 7 yards. Or not 7 yards, 4 yards a carry. Hold on one second. Let me look this up, y'all. Get myself together here. So I think Carson Steele should be the starter. If you're going to start any Chiefs running back this week, I think you let Kareem Hunt sit for a week, and then you should probably look to deploy Kareem. Shout out to my uncle. He says Michael has no help with the pass rush. I don't know what's happened with DeMarcus Lawrence. I think DeMarcus Lawrence still has a lot of hustle. I just don't know how effective of a pass rusher he is. And that's why I don't know if you Cowboy fans have seen this, but there's a petition to fire Jerry Jones, the GM, and to install someone else. Now, the way that could backfire on you is he could say, okay, I'm going to step down and Steven is going to be the de facto GM. So I would, we'll see what happens with that, what becomes of that. But Jerry, I don't want to say sabotage, right? But he did this team no favors in the offseason by refusing to sign CD and Dak to long-term deals, which could have helped their cap situation, which could have helped them pursue Derrick Henry or go find some interior help because that's what they really need. They really need interior linemen. They got Mozzie Smith, but they don't have in the draft, but they don't have a lot on that interior line, and that's where they're getting beat up, man. It's on that interior. They have their linebackers are small. That's a crazy comment. Shout out to Greg. He says, unless they got videos with Jerry at a Diddy party, he's not going nowhere. I mean, listen, you want to talk about PR nightmare. If Jerry is anywhere on camera at a Diddy party, you can go. I mean, just cancel Christmas. Go ahead, just cancel Christmas. I don't know what Roger can't talk his way out of that one. You can't just play the games and have people forget that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm trying to stay away from this Diddy investigation for as long as possible because once we go there, oh boy, Lord knows where that rabbit trail leads. Lord knows. But yeah, man, Dallas has got some things they got to fix, and I think they get right tonight, and we'll see what happens as far as we go for the rest of the season. So I got about oh my, and not. So shout out to my mother. Of all the comments, you made the one about Jerry. If you haven't seen the video of Jerry this is Jamie Foxx at a Dallas Cowboy practice. And he made some comments about I don't know how to put it. I don't know exactly how to say it. I'll put it to this way. I don't do pause, but he made some pause-worthy comments. We'll put it to you like that. He made some pause-worthy comments that went out over social media, and yeah. He got a little Donald. He went Donald Sterling, and you never want to go Donald Sterling with it. I put it to you like that. I'm not, listen, both figuratively, literally, not touching that with a 10-foot pole. And I am going to pause that. Pause. Oh. Yo, shout out to you, Greg. Appreciate you, man. So, real quick, now I have 7 minutes left. I want to talk about, if you haven't seen this story. Now, Unc, I'm not putting that comment on the screen. I get it. Yes. For those who are on Facebook, y'all can see that comment. Yes, he needs to be delivered. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, there's a joke there, but I'm not going to make it. Anyway, if you haven't seen, there was a story that broke, I believe, yesterday. It was either yesterday or this morning. I don't know. It all kind of runs together. There was a football player in college who played quarterback for the UNLV Running Rebels out of Las Vegas, and he declared that he was leaving the team, undefeated 3-0 squad, in part because promises were made but not kept. And if you are not familiar, y'all, if y'all can see these comments, Lord help me, Jesus. I'm trying to focus. Promises were made but not kept, and so he left the team. If you're unaware, in college football, they have what's called name, image, and likeness, and boosters, for lack of a better term, outside of the university can pay players to attend the school. So he was promised, according to him and his family, he was promised a certain amount of money, I believe in $100,000 range, to come to the school by an assistant coach. When he got there, the NIL collective that works in alongside the university, but not for the university, said that they were going to give him the money, but then he never got the money, and that is why he left. Okay. So this sparked a huge controversy about NIL and about the role it plays and players quitting on teams and loyalty and playing for the love of the game and so on and so forth, right? Now, if you listen to this show at any point in time, I've been one who's been a proponent of players being paid and getting their money, but not in this way. Anytime you hear me talk about NIL and college football, I'm always going to say it should be the responsibility of the schools to pay the players. This is a billion-dollar industry in which the kids are the ones who are bankrolling this industry, right? They're the ones who are allowing these schools to command billion-dollar contracts to put these games on TV, and they deserve compensation for it. And to me, the NIL has ruined college football. It's still a watchable sport. It's still a fun sport, but this sport was not meant to allow the wild, wild west to run in the way it is. Now, to understand, college players getting paid underneath the table is something that has been going on for years and years on end. What the NIL has done is brought that from underneath the table and brought it into the limelight, and it has become the wild, wild west. And these young men are being made promises. There was a young man named Jaden Rashada who was promised, I think, $13 million by the University of Florida. He got there. When he showed up, they said they didn't have the money. They were going to try to get him the money. They couldn't, and he ultimately left, right? And so he went to this school, yes, maybe because of the coaches, yes, maybe because of the atmosphere, but he went because he was chasing the bag. This young man went to UNLV because he was promised for him a bag. And my advice, my admonition, my warning to these players is you better pick a school that is the right school for you and not the right school for your pockets, because that can change in an instant, right? That is the big lesson here. I want you guys to get paid. I want you guys to get after that bag, but go after that education as well, because that's just as important. So I'm a Notre Dame fan. We got a young man who decided to opt out because he wasn't getting playing time that he thought that he should get, which is fine. But he is choosing to leave school to preserve his eligibility, but he's also going to graduate from Notre Dame in the spring. And that is huge, because when you have that degree behind you from that university, shout out to my mother-in-law. She said she would have went for the money. I mean, I get it. But when you get a degree from some of these universities, that piece of paper, the Bible talks about, is better to have a good name than riches. Having that name attached to yours in the form of a degree can sometimes mean a larger bag than some other school that's promising you up front to come play for them. And this isn't a pitch for Notre Dame. This is just as an example, right? Go and get that education, because that money could be here today, gone tomorrow. But that education, the things that you learn, the connections you make, the friendships you make, can do a lot more for you after you're done playing football than what football could do for you in the here and the after, right? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Some of y'all jumping into that transfer portal. Some of y'all going to go play football, trying to go find a path to the NFL. And what that commercial say? Some of y'all gonna be going pro in something other than sports. Like, it's the 1% of the 1% who make it there, and all of y'all not gonna make it there. I hate to burst y'all bubble. I know y'all been dope since Pee Wee football. I know y'all been a hitter since Pee Wee football. Y'all been fast since Pee Wee football. Y'all been the man all y'all life, but all of y'all not making it to the NFL. Some of y'all not gonna make it to the Canadian Football League. Some of y'all might just be XFL dudes, man. And you got to have something in mind other than, well, they promised me $2 million. $2 million is a lot of money. But if you and your family members don't know how to protect that $2 million, man, that be gone like that, man. So by all means, get the bag. By all means, seek the bag. But at the end of the day, get your education, because that has the ability to last a lot longer than that quick money that school is promising you. And last thing I'll say, because it's 7:00, I thought it was illegal for the assistant coach to be promising you money. I thought that was against the rules, but that's another story for another day, man. That's my time, man. I appreciate everybody who turned up. If you're watching this live, please remember, please hit the like button, share this broadcast, send it out. Shout out to the homie Ricky. I know you're the what am I looking for? The most angsty Dolphins fan I know. Shout out to the homie Izzy. Shout out to the homie Mo, Greg, my mom, my mother-in-law, my uncle, everybody who pulled up. Hit the like button, share the broadcast. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching for It's a Black and White Thing, and or for Brains and Bars. You can check us out on YouTube by going to YouTube, searching for Brains and Bars. Hit the like button, hit the share the broadcast, tell a friend, it's those boys again. Last thing out the door, my uncle, this is true. The UNLV quarterback had his degree from Holy Cross already, and that's fine. But I think the young man had NFL aspirations, which is why he's leaving. And if you want it, and last thing I'll say about this, I'm gonna out the door. You don't have to go to the SEC or the Big Ten to be seen by the NFL. If you're dope, they're going to find you. If you dope at Holy Cross, they're going to find you. If you dope at UNLV, they're going to find you. But don't go to a school who's promising you something without it being in writing. So you can then, if you want to really get your bread, you can then go to court, because it was a verbal agreement, allegedly. UNLV has claimed that they paid him his bread. It's a complex story, man. And if I get a chance, I'll talk about it more. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'm about to go be a family man. Good night. See y'all later. Take it easy.